And welcome back. Well, when the pandemic hit, many people hit a wall at work, right? You became tired of running that rat race, and we all just got burned out. So joining us now is Zuker Briller. She is one of the co-owners of Grapevine, which helps the best candidates find the right job, not just a job, the right one. Her and her business partner wrote this soon-to-be-released book. It's called Straight from the Grapevine, How to Crush Your Job Search. And Lori is here now with ways to approach a gap in your resume, because that's a scary one for people, that gap that everyone's like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's really scary. And I think that we collectively all had to remember that during the pandemic, we all stopped.
Yes.
So
the world stopped.
The world stopped. You know, March 20th, we were kind of like, okay, what's happening? So I think we all have to acknowledge that we all had our own stops, and it was, where are we going? And then quickly, some people started to really realize very quickly that they were going to be able to pivot to being online, which many offices did for a period of time. And then as things progressed, a lot of things stopped, and it didn't matter what world you were in. You know, many of the companies that we were working out in LA, there were agencies or things that had to be in person, and they stopped because they didn't know. How about live events? Think about people who worked
halted.
Concerts, all these places, food stores. People were afraid to go into food stores initially. So the gap is there for everyone, right? And I think that the best way to approach it is always with honesty. I think it's the best policy. Some people, I also want to remember, they had to stop because they had ailing parents elsewhere, right? So they had to go home and literally make sure that they were the caregivers, because the caregivers that might have been there were going home to deal with their families. So there's all of that that really comes into play right now.
What I really love about what you're saying is it's acknowledging that this is okay, that you're not any different than the rest of us. We've all had an experience of a gap, but how do we move forward? And that's what I like. And so I want to share some of your tips to talk about how it is. And first and foremost, just as you said, it's acknowledging the reality. And then the second one is normalizing it. So is that really where you're just saying, hey, we all had this, it's okay, and these are the reasons why? How do we get to normalizing?
I'm a big believer in transparency. I never want to create something that was on the resume that didn't happen, first off. And secondly, I think it's very clear that in those few years that we all had to say, some people also had mental health issues. And I think that that's also something that the current crop of people who are hiring, most of the companies that we're working with, they're understanding there was a blip on the radar. I think we want to differentiate, and this is really key. Was there a gap because you were going to deal with your, family, or you had to homeschool your own children and they were having health issues, whatever was going on at that time, to the person who continuously has gaps on their resumes, right?
So how do you do that? Do you denote that on your resume? Do you put it in a cover letter? Is it hopefully that you get to the point of an interview? Because I feel like a lot of times you don't get the interview if you're not differentiating those gaps.
All super fair questions, and I'm a big believer mostly that if there was something and there's a couple years or a year and a half, you could add at the bottom of that paragraph just saying reasons for leaving. Took a moment, I had to go help with my elder parents. Some people's parents actually just get sick and they have to leave because they're the only child. There are things like that. I think where the stumbling block is coming from at what hiring parties are really aware of is the person who keeps moving jobs 6 months, 9 months, 8 months, even 16 months.
Gen Z is quick to do it.
Well, I'm not going to pick on anybody. I'm not going to pick on anybody. And it can happen for younger, older.
Yeah.
But I think there's something that's just missing in our very fast-paced culture that's forgetting that you have to dig in. You have to learn the job. You have to kind of really assimilate into it, understand it, instead of always having your eye on the next prize. That being said, it's great. Be industrious. Be smart about it. But don't keep hopping, thinking you're going to get to the next place, because unfortunately, then it comes to a place that a lot of what I see is hiring parties just they just pass on the resume when there are those type of gaps.
Well, what's interesting, because you've placed people at some of the biggest companies in the world, in the country, I should say, and
yes.
So what do employers really want to hear? What are you hearing from the hiring end that they really want to hear from people?
I think right now they want to know that you're going to show up, that you're excited about the job, that you're going to obviously bring your industriousness. I think there's a collective after the pandemic where people, I hope and believe it's turning at small increments. People do believe in the job, work balance. You need to have life, you need to be able to replenish and then come back and start over again. What they want to know, though, is that you're in it with them. Nobody likes looking for a job, but nobody likes hiring. It's really hard to assimilate somebody into your team.
Yeah, and you
So
want
if
the
it's
longevity.
just you, and you're trying to teach them everything about your independent business, or they're joining a team. That chemistry is super important, and they want to know that if they're taking the time to integrate you and teach their systems, that you're going to be with them for a long time.
Right, because it can be very disruptive to leave and to replace that chemistry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here.
It was a
Thank
pleasure,
you so
Lori.
much.
And again, Lori Zuker Briller and Rachel Zeslansky-Shear's new book is called Straight from the Grapevine. It comes out next March, and you can pre-order it now on Amazon.